Hello friends, this is me, your host, back to our channel. I hope you all are well and doing great. So today I'm back with another video to give review on another books. So these books are all about the romantic stories. So if you wanted to buy any one of these best-selling books, you can visit our Amazon page and buy it from there. So the first book, which is all about romance, is The Same Time Next Week by Annabel Davis Goff. Annabel Davis Goff's Same Time Next Week is a deeply meditative novel that explores the complex relationship between memory, place, and identity. It does not rely on sensational twists or fast paced storytelling. Rather, it unfolds slowly in layered reflections that move between past and present. At its core, this is a story about the weight of childhood experiences and how they reverberate into adulthood. Shaping the way people see themselves, others, and the world around them. The novel's title itself suggests repetition, rituals, and familiarity. Same time next week alludes alludes to the predictable rhythms of childhood summers, the way children meet, the way children meets at the same place and time as if life could continue unchanged. Yet, as Davis Goff makes clear, time inevitably shifts, and what once seemed eternal is revealed to be fragile and fleeting. Plot overview. The story follows Rosie, a woman who returns to a small American lakeside town where she spent many of her childhood summers. The narrative is not linear but interwoven with memories. Memories oscillating between past world of past experiences and the present day visit. Through Rosie's perspectives, readers are invited to the intimate world of a girl growing up, her friendships, family bonds, and a sense of belonging to a community bound together by summer traditions. Rosie's adult self revisits these landscapes, both literary and emotionally. Old friends resurface, sometimes as shadow of who they once were. Family bonds are remembered with tenderness but also with awareness of old tensions. The simple repetition of same time next week becomes as an anchor, a phrase once filled with anticipation that now resonates as a reminder of all that has been lost to time. Character analysis. Winnie. Winnie is the beating heart Winnie is the beating heart of the novel, bold, witty, and unapologetic. She challenges she challenges fatphobic stereotypes and embodies the belief that beauty and worth exist in everybody. But what makes her compelling is that she is not written as flawless. Beneath her confidence, Winnie wrestles with doubt, insecurity, and the fear of disappointing her family. This duality makes her relatable relatable. She is both an inspiration and a mirror for readers. Grandma. Winnie's grandma represents family tradition, cultural expectation, and unconditional love, though not without fiction. Her dinner is both a safe haven and symbol of the past, grounding Winnie in her heritage but also pushing her to grow beyond it. Their relationship highlights generational dynamics, love that sometimes comes wrapped in expectations. Dallas. Dallas serves as both a love interest and a catalyst for Winnie's growth. Rather than being an idealized romantic figure, Dallas is flawed and human, forcing Winnie to navigate attraction, trust, and self assertion. Their dynamic raises questions about the role of romance in happiness, whether it defines or enhances it. Secondary characters. Friends, relatives, townspeople flesh out the story's world. They are not merely background figures but reflections of the pressures Winnie faces. Some act as encouragers, reminding her of her worth. Others embody the judgments and expectations she resists. Collectively, they add richness to the narrative and emphasize the themes of community and individuality. Major themes: self acceptance and body positivity. Winnie's story directly confronts societal biases about body image. Instead of treating her size as a problem to be fixed, the novel celebrates the novel celebrates her as a complete and valuable exactly as she is. Can's portrayal challenges harmful narratives and gives readers, especially young women, a protagonist who loves herself unapologetically. The complexity of happiness. The title itself raises a question: what does it mean to be happy? What does it mean to be happy? For Winnie, happiness is not found in pleasing others but in aligning with her true self. The book insists that happiness is an act of choice and courage, particularly for those who live outside societal norms. Love in its many forms. Romantic love is present, but it does not dominate the narrative. Instead, the book explores platonic love, by finding the definition of love. Ken challenges the idea that happiness must always be tied to romance, family, and tradition. Winnie's relationship with her grandmother reflects the tension between honoring tradition and carving the desire for independence. Identity and representation. As a black queer plus size protagonist, Winnie embodies identities often marginalized in literature. Can's choices to center her narrative challenges stereotypes and provides validation for readers. Readers who rarely see themselves reflected in fiction. Writing style and tone. Clary Kent's writing is conversational yet layered, striking a balance between light-hearted summer storytelling and thoughtful social commentary. Her prose is warm, filled with humor, descriptive details, and moments of raw vulnerability. The dinner scenes, for example, the diner scenes, for example, are painted with sensory details. The smell of cooking, the hum of conversation, the comfort of food that make the setting come alive. At the same time, Winnie's inner reflections are written with honesty and power, offering readers a direct connection to her struggles and triumphs. Emotional impact. A protagonist who is authentic, bold, and deeply relatable. Inclusive emotional impact. Reading if it makes you happy is both comforting and challenging. It comforts through its affirmation of self love and its inclusive representation. It challenges by forcing readers to confront their own assumptions about beauty, love, and identity. For young readers, especially those who feel unseen or marginalized, the novel offers representation and hope. For others, It provides a window into experiences that may differ from their own, fostering empathy and understanding. Strengths: a protagonist who is authentic, bold, and deeply relatable, inclusive representation rarely seen in YA literature, a thoughtful balance of romance, family drama, and personal growth. Engaging writing style that blends humor with emotional depth. A positive message about self worth and happiness. Conclusion: Clary Cans, if it makes you happy, is much more than a summer romance. It is an exploration of joy, identity, and the courage to live unapologetically. By centering a protagonist who defies stereotypes, Ken crafts a story that is inclusive, empowering, and deeply moving. This novel deserves recognition not only for its storytelling but also for the space it creates in literature space for every reader to feel seen, loved, and validated. Whether you pick it up for its charm, its humor, or its depth, one truth remains: it will make you reflect on what truly makes you happy. The next book which we're going to see today in this video is the another romantic story, which is The Light Behind the Window by Lucinda Riley. Lucinda Riley's The Light Behind the Window, published in the United States as the Lavender Garden, is an evocative, multi-layered historical novel that blends mystery, romance, and the legacy of war into a narrative that bridges generations. Known for her mastery of dual timelines, Riley crafts a story where the present is inseparably bound to the past, and where personal identity cannot be understood without reckoning with inherited histories. Set primarily in France, the novel unfolds across two distinct but interconnected storylines. The life of Emilie de la Martinières in modern day Provence and the wartime experiences of Constance Carruthers, a young British woman working as an undercover agent in Nazi occupied France. By weaving together their stories, and Riley delivers not just an engaging narrative but also an exploration of themes such as duty, sacrifice, love, and the often painful act of confronting family secrets. This review will offer a detailed overview of the novel's plot and structure, a character by character analysis, a chapter by chapter reflection, an exploration of key themes and motives, historical context of SOE in occupied France, strengths and comparisons with similar works, a concluding evaluation of the novel's impact and literary significance. Plot overview. At its core, The Light Behind the Window is about inheritance, not only of property but of memory, responsibility, and trauma. Present timeline. Emilie, a shy and bookish woman, inherits her aristocratic family's grand but decaying château in Provence after her mother's death. For much of her life, Emilie has felt overshadowed by her glamorous relatives. But now she must step into a role of responsibility. She encounters Sebastian Carruthers, an Englishman whose family is linked to her estate's wartime past. Together they begin to uncover secrets hidden in the chateau that reshape Emilie's understanding of her family legacy. Past timeline. Constance Carruthers. In 1943, Constance Connie Carruthers, a courageous young woman, is recruited into Britain's Special Operations Executive, sent to occupied France. Connie becomes involved with the de la Martinières family and their château. Her work as a resistance operative is marked by courage, secrecy, betrayal, and sacrifice. As Emilie and Sebastian trace these hidden histories, stories of Connie and the Martinières gradually converge, revealing betrayals, unexpected connections, and the resilience of love in the face of devastation. Character analysis. Emilie de la Martinières. Emilie begins as a hesitant, almost fragile figure, lacking confidence and a sense of belonging. Inheriting the chateau forces her to make choices. Confront responsibilities and eventually discover her strength. Her transformation from timid heiress to empowered woman is one of the novel's most satisfying arcs. Constance Carruthers. Connie is the novel's emotional anchor. Her work as an SOE agent highlights the bravery of women in clandestine wartime roles. Through her, Riley demonstrates both the valor and vulnerability of resistance fighters. Connie is a character of resilience marked by sacrifice, love, and betrayal. Sebastian Carruthers. Sebastian serves as Emilie's romantic interest and as a bridge between past and present. Through him, Emilie gains access to secrets buried in history. While charming, he is also ambiguous, raising questions of trust. His presence embodies theme of intergenerational legacy. Thedila Martinières family. From Emilie's glamorous but cold mother to her wartime relatives, the family embodies privilege, fragility, and survival. The choices during the occupation, whether collaboration or resistance, complicate their legacy and haunt Emilie decades later. Key themes: war and resistance. Part 1: Emilie's inheritance. The opening chapters, as she inherits the château, often readers immediately sense her alienation within her family, her love for books and solitude, and her uncertainty about how to manage her inheritance. These chapters set the stage for themes of self discovery and legacy. Part 2: Wartime France. The narrative shifts to 1943, immersing readers in Connie's recruitment into the SOE and her training. Riley's depiction of wartime espionage is detailed, balancing suspense with human vulnerability. Connie's arrival as France introduces the chateau as both a safe house and a site of moral complexity. Unraveling secrets. Emilie and Sebastian uncover documents, letters, and hidden records that illuminate Connie's story. The chateau, almost a character itself, reveals its past through secret rooms, preserved belongings, and whispered memories. The tension between Emilie's growing affection for Sebastian and her unease about his intentions creates emotional response. Part 4: Confrontations and Revelations. The wartime timelines reaches its climax, betrayals, losses, and the devastating consequences of espionage. Connie's sacrifices are heartbreaking but also affirm the resilience of the human spirit. In the present, Emilie must confront not only her family's secret but also her own fears of inadequacy. Key themes: war and resistance. Through Connie's SOE missions, Riley explores the bravery and peril of resistance work in occupied France. The novel portrays espionage as morally complex, where trust is fragile and betrayal often fatal. Legacy and inheritance. Emilie inherits not just the château but also her family's secrets. Riley suggests that inheritance is not only material, it is also emotional and historical, shaping identity in profound ways. Identity and belonging. Both Emilie and Connie struggle with identity and belonging. Emilie finds her voice by embracing her family's past, while Connie negotiates her identity as a way identity as a woman in a male dominated world of espionage, love, and sacrifice. Love is depicted as both redemptive and costly. Romantic relationships are entangled with duty and betrayal, but love endures as a sustaining force across generations. Place as memory. The chateau and lavender fields are more than settings. They are responsible of memory. Lavender in particular symbolizes continuity, healing, and resilience. His literary analysis of motifs. Windows represent perspective, revelation, and the act of uncovering hidden truths. Lavender, recurring symbol of endurance and renewal, linking past to present. The chateau functions as a character embodying the weight of history and memory. Strengths: dual narrative structure that maintains suspense Strong female characters who embody resilience, vivid description of France both in wartime and modern times, emotional resonance that lingers with the reader. Final reflections. The Light Behind the Window is more than a love story or a historical novel. It is an exploration of how memory, trauma, and resilience shape identity. Riley's ability to weave personal stories into the fabric of history ensures that readers are not only entertained but also to move to reflect on the sacrifices of past generations. For readers who enjoy atmospheric, multi layered narratives filled with secrets, revelations, and emotional depth, this novel is a rewarding experience, though it has its flaws in pacing and predictability. Its strengths far outweigh them. Ultimately, Lucinda Riley reminds us that behind every window, however shadowed, there is a light waiting to be uncovered. So the last book which we're going to see today in this video is the another romantic story, and it is The Loneliness of Sonia and Sunny. Loneliness is among the most persistent and universal of human experiences, cutting across cultures, languages, and generations. It is paradoxical. In an age where we are more connected than ever through technology, feelings of isolation have only intensified. Novels that address this emotional reality have a special place in literature because they not only tell a story but also offer readers recognition and comfort. The Loneliness of Sonia and Sunny is one such book. At its heart, the novel portrays two characters, Sonia and Sunny, whose lives are shaped by very different yet deeply resonant forms of loneliness. Sonia's inner world is filled with insecurity and self doubt, while Sunny hides his emptiness beneath a facade of charm and outward optimism. When their paths intersect, the story becomes less about romance or dramatic resolution and more about the fragile, life affirming journey of discovering connection and self worth. This review will provide in depth exploration of the novel. It will examine the plot and structure, characters, themes, symbolism, literary style, emotional impact, and contemporary relevance. It will also offer a chapter by chapter reflection and comparison with other works on loneliness. Before concluding with the consideration of the lessons readers can carry into their own lives. Plot overview. The novel unfolds is a relatively linear structure. Through the narrative depth comes less from external action and more from the inner lives of the protagonist. Sonia is portrayed as a young woman burdened with self consciousness, particularly around her worth and her ability to connect meaningfully with others. Despite having acquaintances, she feels persistently invisible. Sunny, in contrast, appears well liked, charismatic, and cheerful. However, his laughter and friendliness mask a deep sense of emptiness. He embodies the kind of loneliness that hides in plain sight, surrounded by people, yet emotionally adrift. The chance encounters evolve into a tentative friendship through awkward conversations, moments of silence, and reluctant vulnerability. They begin to share the loneliness they had long carried privately. The narrative emphasizes the messiness of trust, showing that connection is never smooth or instantaneous. The climax of the book does not rest on a dramatic external event, but on an emotional breakthrough. Both Sonia and Sunny begin to realize that loneliness need not define them, and that being truly seen, flaws and all, is the first step toward healing. The conclusion is deliberately open ended, emphasizing growth, possibility, and the ongoing nature of human connection. Establishing isolation. Sonia's insecurities and inner monologues reveal her isolation. Sunny is introduced already wearing his mask of humor and positivity. First contact. The initial interactions highlight both awkwardness and possibility. Symbolic imagery. Closed doors and muted tones to reflect hesitation. Bonding moments. A late night conversation, rain soaked encounters, and moments of shared silence bring intimacy. Rain becomes a recurring symbol of cleansing and renewal. Conflict and withdrawal. Sunny retreats into humor again. Sonia withdraws further, fearing rejection. Resolution and hope. Honest conversation allows them to acknowledge their struggles. The novel ends not with certainty, but with the fragile beauty of hope. Themes: loneliness as universality. The central theme is clear: loneliness is not an aberration but a common human condition. By presenting two very different lo- experiences of loneliness, the novel broadens the reader's understanding of its many forms. Strengths: honest portrayal of loneliness, relatable human characters, strong use of symbolism, balance of realism and hope. Conclusion: the loneliness of Sonia and Sunny is not just a story about two people, it is a story about all of us. Through Sonia's inward struggle and Sunny's outward mask, the novel captures the many forms loneliness takes. Its characters are flawed but authentic, its themes timeless, and its message essential: that while loneliness may never fully vanish, it becomes bearable and even transformative when shared. By the end, readers are left not with neat resolution but with something more precious: hope, recognition, and the reminder that connection begins with the courage to be seen. So, this is all we have from these three of the books, all about the romantic stories. I hope you guys enjoyed the stories. If you did, don't forget to press the like button. I'll be back with another videos with another books to give a review on. Till then, just take care and goodbye.